Good afternoon, everybody. Mike here from the Traveling Cookies, and today we are staying at Pop Century. We want to give you a full tour of the resort. Come check it out. Pop Century is one of the value resorts here on Disney property. It opened up in December of 2003 and has about 2,880 rooms available for guests to stay. The theming of this beautiful hotel is decades of 1950s, 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s. And today we're going to go through and give you a tour of the whole resort. Our tour is going to begin in the wonderful 50s. We're going to work our way from the 50s down to the 60s area. Once we hit the 60s area, we're going to go into the classic hall. This is where you're going to be able to check in. This is also the area where you're going to be able to go for your transportation for the buses, and you'll be able to get your quick service and a little shop so you can go and grab some merchandise. After we leave the classic hall, we're going to continue to work our way south to the 70s area, and then finally we'll migrate our way towards the 80s and 90s. So right now I am standing in the 50s area. As you can see, they have this beautiful statue of Lady from Lady and the Tramp. Everything is all tailored to the 50s era. If you look off in the distance, you have a jukebox with all music on there. We'll walk over and take a closer look. What's cool about this particular section is that the pool itself is designed as a bowling pin. That's why if you look right over here, there's all the bowling balls right on the rack, and hence the bowling pins on the actual fence itself. The pool hours for this particular section is from 10 a.m. to 11 p.m. Look at that tramp. That's a pretty cool statue. That's one thing I like about this resort. As you go through the decades, there's these giant statues that were placed for decoration that were a part of movies that were big in that era. I'm gonna take you guys to that giant jukebox real quick. So this is the tippy top of the resort. Again, the resort goes from north to south. This is kind of far. Depending on where you park on the resort, I'll insert a picture of the map here. Based on where you're placed when you check in, you could be kind of far from the parking lot. That's pretty cool. Big shoe rack with all different shoe sizes for you to rent going to a bowling alley. Now I worked my way over to this giant jukebox. I think it's pretty gigantic. You can see all these old-time songs they have listed on the sign. Again, that's just Disney attention to detail with everything. Pretty cool. And this is the view looking downstream. Now looking south, if you go towards your right, you're gonna be able to see the Skyliner. And I'm gonna take you over there real quick. Now the Skyliner will give you access to Epcot, Hollywood Studios. The buses here will take you to Magic Kingdom and Animal Kingdom. If for whatever reason the weather is playing a factor and shutting down the Skyliner, they will send buses that will take you to the other parks. So you're not stuck here. They will work with you. They understand that weather is uncontrollable. So that's one thing I really like about this particular resort. This is actually a really nice view. See, I wish they had this going to all of their resorts, because I'm not a huge fan of the buses. It's kind of like one of my complaints about Disney. I'll leave it at that. But this is engineering at its finest. Now, the lake that the Skyliner is going over, I should say, is called Hourglass Lake. And if you look off into the distance, there is another resort there. That resort is Art of Animation. Fun little fact, when they were building Art of Animation, it wasn't actually called Art of Animation. I believe it was called Century for the Decades. Unfortunately, when 9/11 happened, they stopped all construction on that building, and the building sat abandoned for over a decade. It wasn't until recently until they decided to use what was on that property and make it into another value resort that you would be able to take advantage of. From what I've seen, it looks like a gorgeous resort. I haven't stayed there. Steph hasn't stayed there. It's definitely on our bucket list. We essentially want to hit every Disney resort and say that we were able to stay there at least one night. Now, turning back to where that giant jukebox was, you have this big bowling pin, just to kind of give you perspective of how tall it is. It's taller than the actual building itself. So we're back at the tippy top of the resort. Now our next section that we're going to be heading over to is going to be the 60s. All right, so we're making our transition from the 50s into the 60s. Completely different color palette they went with. They went with more of like a brighter, more vibrant 60s look, you know, all the hippie colors and all of the flowers all around the buildings. You're gonna notice right off into the distance, you're gonna have more silhouettes of people dancing to the style of dance that was out at the time. So you're gonna see that slowly progress throughout the resort as we go later into the decades. But one thing I do want to point out right here, this building, this is the Central Hall area. So I want to run through the 60s area first, and then we're going to make our way into this building so you can get an idea of where the check-in desk is and all of the shops. So you're going to see the theming. It's definitely a lot different. So far, I would say this one has pretty decent theming. I like it a little bit better than the 50s. We're actually staying in this section, and this section right here again is a preferred section for parking. Because we're only staying one day, we're actually going to be going on the Disney cruise. So we paid a little bit more, I think it was like $10 or $15 more just to get in this specific area of the resort. But that price can change based on the time of the year that you're going to be booking your stay here at the resort. Now in this section they do have their own pool. In total of the resort there's 3 pools, one in the 50s section, one in the 60s section, and then the last pool is all the way in the 80s and 90s section. Again, the pool hours for this area is from 10 a.m. to 11 p.m., same as the other pool. Some big Play-Doh container. But how the weather is today, it's really hot. I wouldn't be shocked if it's made of cement already. Someone left the lid off. Now, just like the 50s area, they're gonna have these giant statues that are dedicated to the movies that were made in this era. In this particular era, The Jungle Book was made. Great movie. For a while I put off not watching it, and then we watched it recently, and it's crazy watching a movie when you're a lot younger and then rewatching it as an adult. It just has a completely different feel. I definitely remembered it a lot differently, but this is a great movie. Didn't mind the live action. I like the original music in the original movie a lot better. I wanna be like you. Steph sings that every day and I can't get it out of my head. But pretty cool. Pretty cool. Now if you're standing in front of Mowgli and Baloo, massive. Oh my god. Off to the left, you're gonna have a little kiddie pool area. So if you're gonna be bringing little ones and you don't wanna bring them in the big adult pool, It's right across, which is nice. Convenience, right? Now, if you keep walking left past the kiddie pool, you're gonna actually make your way over to the bridge that's going to get you onto the Skyliner. So if you could see off into the distance, that is the terminal that you're gonna take if you're gonna be going to Epcot or Hollywood Studios. Now if we turn around, right behind this pop sign, that is the Classic Hall. So we're gonna make our way inside and take a look around. All right, so we are walking into the Classic Hall. Now when you first arrive, you may be coming in from one or two entry points. This area right here, or that area all the way down the hall. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with the transportation area, because again, this is where you're going to be able to get on the buses to go to Magic Kingdom as well as Animal Kingdom. We'll take a peek out front just to get a little bit better visual. All right. Working like clockwork. Got a lot of buses, tons of people. I feel like a lot of people come back midday just to get out of the heat, and then we'll cool off in the pool. And then as it gets a little cooler later in the evening, they go back out to the parks to finish out strong. This is the main parking lot right over here. And then right over there is the other entrance. So now making our way back into Central Hall. I'm going to be able to give you guys an idea of where you're going to want to go if you're not checking in through the Disney app. That's one thing I do like about the app. If you check in early and if your room is available, it will give you your room number, and you'll be able to either use your Magic Band or your phone if it has Bluetooth capabilities to get into your room, so you can avoid waiting on this line right here. Now what I want to do is I want to start all the way at the starting point right here of this entrance, because on this wall that I'm actually walking by right now, it has a timeline starting from the 50s of all memorabilia that they've collected over the years. So you're going to be able to see a really cool progression of how things change from the 50s up into the 90s, regardless of what the item is. If it's anything that has to do with music or advertising, this is going to give you just like an idea of how fast our culture changes in a short amount of time. Started at 1950. Trains, everybody knows my man Walt loved trains. I guess bowling was really big back in the 50s. I guess they based this jukebox right here off of the building that we saw right at the beginning. Oh wow, that cup of coffee looks real. Now we're kind of jumping to 1955, old school roller skates. That's vintage. Oh wow. Love the Flintstones. Oh, there's the Play-Doh. I can see why they put that in the 60s. Yep, we're right in the 60s. Looking at the timeline. I like how they did that. Look at that old TV guy. Addams Family. Beverly Hillbillies. This stuff's incredible. And now we made it into the groovy era of the 60s. 64 to 65. Oh, there they are, my boys. George, Paul, Ringo, and John. Oh, Swamp Man. Wow, old school comic of the Jetsons. are making our way into the 70s. Saturday Night Fever. Star Wars all day, every day. Minus some of the new stuff they put out, but we'll leave that discussion for a different day. Troll Doll, Sesame Street. Oh, they have an autograph from this member of Kiss. Back scratcher? Back scratcher. Wow. Big wheel. Now we're into the 80s. Indiana Jones. Superman with Christopher Reeves. Empire Strikes Back. Good Arnie. Oh, Simon Says. Thundercats. I guess this is when the My Little Pony started coming out. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle, Transformers, He-Man, Crock Pot Cooking. Wow. Wonder how many fires this started when they first came out. It's like a camcorder, Tony Danza, the original Wonder Woman, Dukes of Hazzard. Hey, where is the beef? 1986, Tori, Elton John, Michael Jackson, Madonna, Sting. Look at all this old technology. Jump into the 90s. This is right off Steph's alley. This is her favorite movie right here. As well as this movie. They might be tied. They might be... No. She likes Beauty and the Beast just a little bit more. Dreamcast. And that's about it. That was the whole timeline we just ran through. And we're going to be walking into the Everything Pop Shopping and Dining. This is going to be where you'll be able to get some memorabilia. If you're not making your way to the park, your first day or whatever day that you're staying here. And then
I wonder what he does.
Check out some merch. Oh, these are cool, the Skyliner ornaments. Oh my god. Steph's gonna lose it when she sees this. That's pretty neat. Look at this balloon Mickey ears. Oh, it's a light. That's pretty cool. $30. Oof. And then this is the food court area. Just quick service, nothing special. You don't need a reservation. They have a rainbow cheesecake here, which is infamous, and Steph is a huge fan of cheesecake. It's one of her favorite desserts. So later today we're going to be getting it, and we're going to be getting her thoughts of how good it is. So coming out of Classic Hall, making our way over to the 70s section. And this is actually a popular area where people come and get a photo op with Goofy. Goofy's always got that swag going on. Actually pretty tall. Showing off his Corvette. Pretty nice whip. I don't think he drives it. I think it's more for show. Coming over into the 70s area. And you're just going to see all the buildings change. Little decorations getting updated for that time period. Looks like they have like boogie shoes. One big thing that people like about this particular area, besides the giant big wheel, that is probably more of my size versus the one that we saw inside Center Hall is, and besides that Mickey, OG Mickey phone. You wanna play foosball? It's pretty cool. These are ginormous. 18, 20 feet tall. Pretty sweet. That's gonna be costly to fix. Now again, there's no pool in this area. This is just more decor and putting your head down at night. Now if we keep walking this way, it looks like it's just gonna bring us to the lake. So on the opposite side of the big wheel, that's the name of this building right here. I'm gonna cut through this little alleyway, and it looks like it's gonna bring me into the 80s section. Isn't that something? Giant Rubik's Cube and Pac-Man. Pretty sweet. Pretty sweet. Beyond this massive Rubik's Cube, looks like it's more parking. And it looks like right over there is where the buses come to pick you up to go to, again, Magic Kingdom and Animal Kingdom. 70s building right here. We're gonna focus right back onto the 80s. Now, it looks like on the map, there's two main buildings that are pretty much identical between one another for the 80s section. So multiple Rubik's Cubes. And what do you know? Everybody's favorite potato couple, Mr. and Mrs. Potato Head. Pretty sweet. Got a nice view of this gorgeous lake. Oh, I like that they listed facts about different time eras walking along the lake. Pretty cool. I'm gonna have to take a walk one day and check it out. So it looks like right behind Mr. and Mrs. Potato Head is going to be the intersection of the 80s into the 90s. So I'm gonna follow this path and make our way over there. Coming into this third and final pool area, one of the great movies ever to be put into existence, Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Love this movie. Holds the test of time. Fantastic. Oh wow. And the building behind it is painted like the Toontown. That's sweet. Here's the pool. Fun fact about this pool, the way that it's laid out, it's designed to mimic a laptop. Pool hours are just the same as the other two, 10 a.m. to 11. So looking at an aerial view mimics a laptop. Whoa. Blast from the past. Pretty sweet. Pretty cool. And that's all we have for you today. As always, I greatly appreciate you guys watching. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. We love making content for you guys. If there's something that you want to see that we haven't done yet, please let us know. Don't be shy. Leave a comment. We love you guys. We appreciate all of you who put the time in watching our videos. We put a lot of time into making good quality content for you. On that note, I am going to end the vlog or tour. I'm going to end the tour for you. Be on the lookout for new stuff. Make sure you have that notification bell rang. Until next time, I'm Mike, and we're the Traveling Cookies.